My 29 years old male, soon-to-be ex-husband seems to feel entitled to another chance with me. 28 years old female, my husband and I have been together almost 8 years, married for 2.5 of those. Last May, 2019, we separated seemingly overnight. He left me and our toddler and moved back to his hometown. There was never a solid reason given, just that he felt we should have never gotten married. In July, he changed his tune and wanted to be a family again. He was still at his job in his hometown, so I decided I would write it out at my job in a different city for a couple of months to build my resume and then start looking for other jobs in his hometown. After 6 months of a brutal commute, taking care of our child during the week by myself and driving to his hometown every weekend, interviewing, basically bending over backwards, I finally landed a great job in December. A week before I was to move into the new house we were buying together and start my new job, I found out he had been having an affair. He begged and pleaded for me to stay with him, said he'd break off all contact, and I foolishly agreed to give him another chance. 2 days later, while I was back in the different city and completing my last week of work at my old job, he unblocked her on everything and liked her pictures on Instagram. I was devastated. On top of that crap show, he kicked me out of the house we were supposed to move in together and I had to find a new place to live 2 days before starting my new position. We have lived separately ever since. He has said and done so many hateful things in this time period, and said so many times that he wants a divorce that I've lost count. Up until a month ago he was still maintaining contact with her. I saw her car at his house, took pictures for the lawyers, etc. And he admitted he had been talking with her still. I stopped doing the pick-me dance about a month ago and stopped reaching out to him besides contact about our child. Now he has suddenly changed his tune and is desperate to get me back and will do anything. He has unfollowed her on everything, unliked all her pictures, tells me not to give up on our family. I've moved on. I am not interested in pursuing another relationship with him. He's hurt me deeply and I feel like I've been screwed over by him so many times that I've lost count. How can I tell him there isn't a chance without sounding like a completely heartless person? I still want to be able to maintain a strong upper-ending relationship with him, so I am friendly to him, but he seems to take that as I want him back. I have relayed to him my feelings, but they fall on deaf ears. He says he will never stop trying to get our family back together and does not want a divorce. I do. Does anyone have advice? DLDR, husband cheated and left me. Was adamant he wanted a divorce. Now when I want one too he changes his tune. Edited to add, just to show the kind of person he is. When I asked him about the reason for his sudden change of heart, he said it was because I seemed stronger. Ah, the irony. Honestly, a big thank you to the prick for yanking the rug under my feet not once, but twice, because I truly have realized how much better I can do and how I don't need anyone but myself to have a happy life. Second, edit, seriously, thank you to everyone who has read my story and commented. You have no idea how much it's helping me to focus on myself and realize I need stop considering the feelings of someone who had no consideration of mine. I only hope that anyone who is in a similar situation realizes that you can and you do move on. And I promise that you will feel like a 10,000-pound weight has been lifted off your back. Third, edit, he is being served papers in the next 1 to 2 weeks. Guarantee the I've changed mask slips off. I hope I'm wrong. But I've learned all too well that my gut feelings are usually spot on. Hopefully I'll be back with an update in a few months with the good news that the split is official. You're not heartless for being direct about your feelings, and even if you were, why would you be so careful about his feelings when he cares so little for yours? You need a lawyer to come up with a custody agreement. You do not need to be friendly with him to co-parent effectively. You just need to be cordial and not disparage him in front of your child. My ex feels entitled to a relationship with me. Filed under how awesome for him. See, also no as a complete answer. You're concerned about appearing like a heartless person to someone who not only acted heartlessly to you, but abandoned your child. Stop giving consideration and concern to people who've gone out of their way to give you neither. Here's what you tell him. Trust is one of the most important aspects of a relationship and you have destroyed my ability to ever trust you. There can be no more chances because there is no more trust. If you want to prove yourself trustworthy, do it by being a good father and prove it to our child because the only future relationship we have is co-parents. Every year, my boyfriend, 21 years old male, and I, 22 years old female, go on a break because he doesn't know what he wants. My boyfriend and I have been together 5 years. We've always been great together and there's no one else in the world I'd rather be with. We make each other laugh, we like the same things, we have our own hobbies so we don't drive each other crazy, and we've been through so much as a couple. I am in graduate school a state away from him, about a 4-hour drive. We went into long distance fairly easily, so it blindsided me when he suddenly told me he didn't know if our relationship is what he wants. He's always struggled with a fear of commitment, something I've tried to support him through by trying not to pressure him into moving forward. The problem is that every year for the last 3 years, he's gone through a struggle with wanting to be with me. He wants to take a break from our relationship and be separate for a while, which I've agreed to the last 2 years. Every year so far he's come back to me saying he was being stupid and that he regrets ever being on a break. We talk things through and move forward. I thought after last year we'd be done with it. But today he gave me the same speech he's always given about wanting a break and wanting space. I put us on the break this time because I didn't want to beg him to stay with me. I'm blindsided by this whole thing, and I'm so confused about where it comes from. We're so great for 90% of the year, and then the end of March comes around and he freaks out and wants to break up with me. He says he loves me and always will, but doesn't know what he wants. If he comes back again, do I take him back? I don't know what to do. TLDR, my boyfriend wants to go on a break every year around this time. I don't know if I should take him back this year. It sounds fishy to me. Always around the same time? I wouldn't put up with it. 3 years in a row he's done this. You deserve to be with someone who loves you no matter what. Definitely sounds fishy. Does he ever go on spring break somewhere? Sounds like he wants the break to go bang other people and or do some crap that would cause you to break up with him for good, so he does this as a way to not feel guilty, like having his cake and eating it too. I, 30 years old female, am sitting in the back of my RV as my husband, 32 years old male, rants about how lovely the trip would be if I hadn't joined him. Edit: Hey guys, I have read all your comments and advice. I don't know what I'll do yet, but I will update later. Second edit: Hey guys, I've read all of your messages and I've got limited internet right now. A few of you are concerned for my safety and I just wanted to let you all know I'm fine. I plan on confronting him later today. This might be confusing, but I will try my best to be clear. I am typing this on my tablet, so please forgive me for any spelling/grammar mistakes. Just to note, this is the first time that an issue like this has come up in our marriage and I do not know what to do. I have been writing romance novels since I was in college. I was a relatively successful author and I have made a living off selling my novels ever since. I do not make a lot of money, but I do bring home $40,000 a year in book sales. This allows me to stay at home during the day so I can write and also make crafts to sell in my Etsy shop. A few years after college, I met Tim and we instantly hit it off. We dated for 3 years before tying the knot and we bought a house shortly after. Tim makes his living off his investments and stocks. However, we keep our finances separate. This is because Tim inherited a vast amount of money from his family, and before we married, I signed a prenup agreement in order to ease his mind. We both contribute an equal share to the joint bank account for bills, then we use the remainder of our money for ourselves. About a year ago I landed a contract to write part of the romance series. The contract was huge and the payout was over $120,000 for a few months' work. I contributed my share to the joint account and then put the rest of the money into the bank so I could buy an RV. I have always wanted an RV because I love to travel and nothing would make me happier than being able to write while on the road. Tim is often away on business for days at a time, so the RV would give me an opportunity to get out of the house while he is away. After 6 months of deciding, I chose a lightly used RV and purchased it from the owners for a great price. When Tim found out I purchased the RV, he was excited. He has a travel trailer, but it's not the same as an all-in-one RV. He loves RVs and he wanted to immediately take it out for a trip across the state. We took our trip and Tim couldn't stop talking about how much he enjoyed the experience and he started talking about taking more trips together. I gently reminded him that even though the RV is a fun thing for us to have for vacations, that its main purpose is for me to have something to do while he is away for business, but that we would be taking plenty of vacations together. Tim agreed with me and he let it go for a while. The thing is, in the past few weeks, Tim has been badgering me about taking the RV with him on his business trips. He usually flies when he goes to check his rental properties/visit family and he is normally gone for 4 to 5 days at a time. We got into an argument because he had to evict a tenant and he wanted to drive the RV across the state in order to do so. I asked him if I could come along, and Tim said he would prefer if I didn't. I then said that if I couldn't come with him, that he couldn't take my RV. I suggested that he take his travel trailer instead and he got mad and stormed out of the house. About an hour later, he started texting me like nothing had happened and then he said he was taking the RV as if our previous conversation had never happened. I called him and tried to explain that he had just purchased a brand new pickup and that if I didn't get to drive his new truck in his absence, why should he get to take my RV when I am not coming on the trip? Tim and I went back and forth and eventually he said I could come along if it meant that much to me. I said I would. and now I am regretting everything. I am sitting in the back of my own RV with a man who won't let me touch the wheel. It has been 3 days since this trip has started, and all Tim has done is rant about how awesome the RV trip would be if I weren't with him. It has made me question everything in our marriage, from how we split our finances to how we argue and function together. This is the first time that anything like this has ever happened, and I don't know what to do in this situation. He is still ranting as I type this, and he's never done that before either. TLDR, I bought an RV with my money so I could write/travel in it while husband is away for business. Husband insisted on taking the RV with him without me. I convinced him to let me come. Now he is ranting about how he doesn't want me on the trip while I sit in the back of the RV hating my life. The TLDR could read, "What's his is his and what's mine is his." There is no way these issues are about an RV and a pickup truck. You should get thee to a marriage counselor so you two can get to the bottom of whatever your real issues are. Thank you all for listening. Have a great day. See you later.